Hello everybody and welcome to a very new thing for the AOR F1 2016 Season 12 Championship, and that is, we are visiting Baku City Circuit for the first time ever for the European Grand Prix. I'm xMattyG, Matthew Gallagher, and I am very excited for this one, purely because we've never been here before. The drivers are inexperienced compared to the other tracks at least, and I've got one man who I would not want to share it with anybody else, and it's Justin.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be back, and yeah, I'm excited for this one as well. You know, it's not a traditional street circuit. It's not exactly like Monaco or Singapore, reaching a little bit higher speeds here in Baku, but I think that's going to mean a lot of overtaking, a lot of action.
I remember testing this game and trying this for the first time ever, and I tell you, I was going down escape roads thinking that that was actually the circuit. So it's going to be very interesting to see, especially through that middle sector with the tightest of corners I've ever seen. It's going to be really interesting to see who can be the most consistent, and I think that's going to be the key factor here, not particularly just pace. So we do not have a Season 11 winner, as you can see on screen, and the last thing we really have to check out is the qualifying comparison.
So here we have the qualifying comparison for AOR's first time in Baku for the European Grand Prix, with the Flying Finn and AOR Cupid braking heavily down towards turn 1 to start their lap, both with a tiny bit of oversteer going through there but controlling it nicely, and then into another 90-degree left-hander off turn 2. This leads us on to the second longest straight on the circuit, where you have DRS enabled and just waiting patiently to spot the difficult braking point down into turn 3. The braking boards are pretty difficult to spot, but you brake just before the 100-meter one, as the Flying Finn got so close to the wall on the inside, clearly pushing very hard, and another 90-degree corner, this time to the right. The first part of the lap really all about heavy braking and controlling the traction, and as you can see, it's pretty much dead equal between these two at the first freeze point. Tricky chicane-like corner here for turn 5 and 6 is not easy to get the right line through there, and then another heavy braking zone into another slow right-hand corner for turn 7, and then we head into the clearly most narrow part of the circuit. You just cannot go too wide. It is the castle section up the hill, keeping hard to the right on the exit to open up the next corner here onto another long flat out section. And this time it was Cupid who had a slight bit more oversteer than the Flying Finn on the exit. And you can see now turn 13 and 14 both easily flat, and into another tricky brake zone where if you mess up and brake slightly too late, you will end up in the wall on the exit. And at this point it is the Flying Finn who has gained a slight advantage, as we only have one real corner to go in the lap. Down here at turn 16, trying to get a best possible exit, arguably the most important corner on the track, because it leads onto by far the longest flat out section. You do have to navigate turn 18 and 19 here, but in qualifying conditions and on fresh tires, those are easily flat out. And then they wait for the finish line, getting DRS enabled, and just hoping that they've done enough to get a good qualifying position here. And as we come across the line, it's the Flying Finn who takes pole position again with a sexy lap, so close to getting into the 139s. And Cupid will start in third, 2/10 behind.
So it is another pole position for the Flying Finn, setting a 140.0, but once again, it is Strees is the only driver able to get within 1/10 of the Williams driver and current championship leader. His teammate HDR Cupid will be starting right behind him in third position, alongside a fantastic result for Mike Marshmallow in fourth position. Snowadore as well, starting from fifth. A very good result for both of those guys. Andre BCF 1997 in sixth for Toro Rosso. He's followed by RS Falcon, TRL Martin, Sayariu, and Lucky Dog 2000 now rounding out the top 10. First of the drivers with fresh tires is going to be Franglish in P11. He's followed by Leobot with a marginally better qualifying result in today's race in comparison to Canada last time out. Then comes Jason 97 F1, Ycoms, Burnout F1, and then Stu, STS F1, Alonso with a much worse qualifying in comparison to last week at Canada. He'll be starting from 17th position, ahead though of AOR Reversal, TRL Limitless, Six Skills, and AOR Raikkonen, while CRL Hamilton will be bringing up the rear after not setting a time during the qualifying session.
The excitement is just round the corner. It's the Grand Prix of Europe, the Baku City Circuit. This is going to be an awesome race. I can feel it in my bones. 20 turns await the drivers. I'm not sure how many laps it is, Justin, if you've done your research, but it's quite a few anyway. And I think we're going to see a few tyres over the barriers. That's just my feeling.
Yep, mercifully for the drivers, it does look like a 0% chance of rain, so at least they don't have to attack this brand new circuit using the intermediate or full wet tires, so that's good. On board with Snowy as we start the formation lap up into 5th position.
Come on, Snowy.
Exactly. Snowy's got a lot of fans, and not just the two that are talking about him during the race, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are rooting for Snowy. And once again, though, it is a very long way back for TRL Limitless, starting from 19th position. So yeah, it's been another interesting qualifying for...
I give up with that man. I absolutely give up with him. I don't know why he puts him in the positions I mean, obviously his intentions, as you probably would tell with the fact that he was on the soft tyres, he wanted to get into the top 10. He missed out by a couple of tenths, and he is now down in, was it 17th? Was it 17th?
19th, I think it was.
19th. Okay, I was wishful thinking. 19th position, which means all the guys ahead of him, below 10th, have got exactly the same advantage as they... Oh, actually, no, some of them are still on the super soft tyres, interestingly. But the other guys that will go for the harder compound tyres will obviously look to go further into the race because of their more durable soft tyres, because of that silly little glitch that we've got in this game. But look at the man, the myth, the legend, Snowadore, Snowy, P5 in that Mana Marussia, and I mean, wow.
And a Sauber ahead of him.
And Mike Marshmallow as well up in P4. We've got a very interesting race on our hands. AOR Reversal, unfortunately, in P18. So he's got another very tricky race ahead of him after his very poor qualifying, but he's still got someone behind him of Limitless. So it's going to be a very interesting one. Limitless obviously coming through the field once again, and that was it. It's only the formation lap, Justin. It's fine. Relax.
Oh my god.
As the drivers are coming through the last sector now, and they're about to line up on the grid. And we have got a very interesting race. Obviously, the weather is not going to play too much of a part, as we have 0% chance of rain. And although we had quite a bit of rain at the start of the season, I actually want a bit more, as that's another car going into the wall there, which very interestingly with the AI. But we've got, as you can see there, 3 cars in 12th, 13th and 14th on medium soft and super soft. So lots of different strategies going on. And now we look towards the front. Strees, once again, what a fantastic qualifying from him. Less than a tenth away from the Flying Finn as they're lining up now, Justin.
Yep, as you mentioned, the only driver, again, within a tenth, same as with Canada. So yeah, I think Strees is going to be another major contender here for sure. But, you know, things didn't exactly work out as we thought they might have in Canada. So I'm sure we'll see some surprises.
Here we go then. The cars are lining up on the grid. I'm not sure why it does that. It looks like he just drives off with that little transition. But either way, the lights are coming on now for the Baku City Circuit European Grand Prix. Held for an absolute age, but the lights are out now, and away we go on board with Cupid. Strees will have the inside line going into turn 1. He's got Strees brakes very early. Actually, no, the Flying Finn misses his braking point, and Strees takes the lead once again, just like we saw at Canada. And Cupid, gets hit by Mike Marshmallow. But fortunately, I think gets away with it. There's more contact as well. Ciario gets caught up in it, and Limitless now up to P16 already. So there's quite a few impacts and collisions going on already as we fly. Oh, Martin, where's he going? He's gone straight on. Martin's completely missed his braking point, and that is his race pretty much ruined. And we now are on board with Limitless, who's up into P13 already, Justin.
Yep, as you mentioned, I mean, I think you may have commented or cursed him there, talking about runoff areas that you thought were circuits. As Martin is the first to fall victim to
Snowy's
that.
down to 14th.
Oh gosh, and Jason and Snowy, unfortunately, making contact. So that 5th place starting position for Snowadore has all been for nothing. He is way down in 21st position and missing a significant part of his front wing as well. It has been an absolutely terrible first lap for the Mana driver. And yeah, I think it looks like, he was thinking about retiring. I think he's going to continue on. He's still got 25 laps still to go in this race. It's not over just yet, Snowy, but I imagine he is feeling pretty upset about that.
Yeah, qualified P5, got caught up in maybe, I think, the turn 2 incident there. Mike Marshmallow came in very hot indeed, and fortunately for him and Cupid, they managed to just about get away with it. But here we are on board with Cupid in P2. Strees is leading this race, and once again he finds himself at the top of the pack, and the Flying Finn is down in 4th. Make that 3rd. The slipstream is unbelievable around this track. He's already passed him and up into P3 as Strees obviously sets the fastest lap, as it is the first lap of the race. Leobot is up to, I think that was 6th place on the soft tyres, so he is looking very good indeed. with the start that he has had for this Grand Prix. And we're now on board with the new man, AOR Raikkonen, who has replaced CRL Rosberg after the lag he was producing. He's left the league, unfortunately, and is now a reserve driver. And AOR Raikkonen has taken his place. He's in P14 at the moment. We're now on board with Ciaru in 9th position, following Burnout F1. His teammates, so they're up in P8 and 9. We have someone in the pits as well, Force India by the looks of things. That may well be Stu. And we're now still on board with the Renault, following his teammates. And we've got Andre just ahead in P7. So it looks like the drivers have just started to calm down a little bit. Streets looks like he's made a mistake as Cupid starts to close in now on the... well, actually, are they teammates? I can't really tell. I'm watching in 480p, so I don't know if that's Toronto or not. So yeah, so we got the two teammates of the Red Bulls in P1 and 2 at the moment, Justin, and Cupid looks like the faster one.
Yep. These guys need to be very careful about battling. In fact, I would say hold station for now. Possibly do the same sort of thing that we saw in Canada, where they were just slipstreaming and DRSing each other. These guys need to work together against the Flying Finn. I mean, the Flying Finn is an absolute monster, only extending his championship lead at the end of the Canadian Grand Prix after picking up that win. So they really need to work together. These two Red Bull drivers, I know each of them wants to win the race. They desperately want to win the race, but more importantly, they both want to try and finish ahead of the Flying Finn. I think that is job number one for those guys. So they're going to have to be very careful, make sure not to take each other out, make sure not to go side by side if they don't absolutely need to, all of that kind of stuff. They're going to have to be thinking long term here, as we're only at the end of lap 2.
Coming under pressure, but we've now cut to Limitless in P11, trying to make some more ground up against AOR Reversal. But AOR Reversal has the inside line for turn 2. And you'll notice, if you're not familiar with the Baku City circuit, that a lot of these corners are 90 degrees. And we're coming up to another one as well. But at the moment, Limitless is in the slipstream. He pulls to the inside. It's very hard to spot the braking point for this corner, I have found at least, as Reversal brakes a little bit later. And in fact, outsmarts Limitless there with that late braking manoeuvre, and I think that just kind of shows that it is quite difficult to spot your braking point for that, as Martin showed as well at the start of this race, and we haven't actually seen whereabouts he is on the track at the moment. I would assume somewhere near the back as Reversal. And now we cut to the Flying Finn in the Williams. He's selling a purple middle sector, and coming through the middle sector now, and coming through this left-hander very, very nicely indeed. And actually, that is the middle sector, Matt. Stop talking rubbish. But either way, so we're now coming on board with RS Falcon, who, fortunately for him, has 4 wheels facing the right way, and he has not had his head scraping along the pavement just yet. And he's in P10, so he's in some points, and he's hoping maybe just that little bit more tentative than the other drivers, that he doesn't really want to end up upside down. I don't really know how we ended up upside down last time out. It was a pretty impressive feat, as we now follow AOR Reversal, who is still pretty much in touch with Limitless at the moment, and may well come back at him now, Justin.
Yep, he's going to get an almighty slipstream here, and also will get the DRS. The DRS activation point isn't until pretty far down the straight, though. But it doesn't look like he's even going to need it. DRS is open now, I believe, for the Sauber driver, and he does pull alongside Limitless. He's not really breaking away as the two cars streak down at over 220 miles an hour, 226 miles per hour for Limitless into turn 1, which is an incredible amount of speed. So here we go with the replay of turn 1, and the Flying Finn, I don't think there was contact there. It did seem like he went extremely wide, because he did go extremely wide, but I don't think that was a result of contact. There's the contact with Mike Marshmallow as he tried to dive up the inside of turn number 2. We do have the incident between Falcon and Snowadore. Snowy under investigation at the moment. We know Snowy had some problems. Oh yeah, and that's how Falcon lost a number of positions at the exit of turn number 2. This is what happened with Snowy. Oh yeah, just getting really caught out. Yep, and then yeah, he's got the McLaren stuck on him, and he's down into 13th, 14th, 15th. Yeah, really unfortunate start for Snowadore. It looks like the incident between Limitless and Snowadore as well is under investigation. So yeah, it's not been the cleanest of first laps, but it has been super exciting. And here we go, back joining the leaders, the two Red Bulls. HCR Cupid in the cockpit view, trying to keep up with his teammate. Oh, it looks like Strees has hit the wall there. Either that, or it was some kind of lag or something. But Cupid looks like he's already pretty much alongside as they get into the DRS now, and that flap will open, and he will accelerate down the road and take that first place position for now. But it does seem that the two Red Bull drivers are taking the advice that they obviously didn't hear me give, and they are actually kind of just not battling each other too much, Oh, Burnout F1 running into the back of Andre BCF1, BCF 1997. Unfortunately for him, Sayaryu now up into 6th position. Remember, Sayaryu, the Renault driver, currently 2nd in the championship standings with 108. He is currently 37 points adrift of the Flying Finn, but the way it is right now, he's not going to be making any sort of inroads on the Williams driver, so he is going to he's going to have to pick up the pace and start overtaking some people if he wants to beat him, or he's going to have to get clever with his strategy. And that's, you know, with this being a brand new circuit, we don't know too much about the strategy. It's going to be difficult for us, I think.
Yep, so Falcon's coming into the pits now for a very early pit stop. Lap 6 of 26, and there's Martin down in 20th position, battling with Ycoms. And I bet Martin just... Oh, wow! I was about to say, I bet he can't wait for this race to be over. It nearly was over there as he clips the wall. And I think this is the issue with Martin, I've found, that when his race goes bad, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I think his mentality does go... He can get quite angry. And I think this is probably a case of that. Because, I mean, it can change. You can still make it work, even after that poor first lap that he had. But unfortunately, it seems like his head has gone slightly there, as it looked like he was just pulling to one side and almost slowing down, as Falcon is now all over the back of STS F1 Alonso, and that is Flying Finn's teammate, who is not scoring any points, unfortunately, at the moment. The Flying Finn's probably hoping that he will do at some point if they want to win the Constructors' Championship. But it'll be very interesting to see how long these soft tyre runners go, because of their advantage that they'll have towards the end of this race on those super soft tyres. But right now, it seems like Cupid really does have the pace over Strees and the rest of the field. And at the moment, Strees and Cupid have got a little bit of a gap, but that's Falcon hitting the wall and going right round, just turning in too early. The left rear just saying, nope, I'm still here, mate. And there was a wall there, and unfortunately went round, and that is his race going from bad to worse. And Sayaryu should have Mike Marshmallow in his back pocket with the slipstream and then the DRS as well. We're up to 226 miles an hour. Make that 231 for AOR Reversal, who is absolutely flying down this straight. Jesus, how is he going to slow this down into turn 1? He does indeed. And Limitless just hanging around the outside. These two cannot be separated in this race right now. And Limitless stays in 7th. And then Reversal in 8th, and Burnout loses 2 positions, I think, there, and is down to 9th. But Limitless and Reversal making good work at the moment on those soft compound tyres, considering how far down they were on the grid, or Limitless especially. And that's late on the brakes. That's very late on the brakes, and Reversal. Limitless fortunately did not feel that, and Burnout's going to come back at him on the super softs and takes that 8th place away. So Reversal, a small mistake there has cost him a position, and also the chance to stay with Limitless, because I don't think he can match Limitless for pace.
Yeah, I mean, you can it's easy to lose your rhythm around this circuit, I think we're finding. I mean, we've even seen several drivers making mistakes at turn 19, normally a flat-out corner, but as soon as you get some sort of front wing damage or dirty air effect from the car ahead, you might need a little bit of a micro lift through the penultimate corner just to avoid hitting the wall. And we've seen a number of drivers having that issue. Franglish, I was gonna say too, right before he made contact with that barrier and went for that spin, I was gonna say he was looking very comfortable around this Baku circuit. He was just millimeters away from the barriers, but unfortunately he was flirting a little too much. There is the turn 19 that I was talking about right there. Easy flat out for the Flying Finn because he has all of his bits on his wing, and also because he doesn't have any dirty air up ahead. And speaking of which, the 2 Red Bulls up ahead do seem to be holding on to that lead without too much of an issue. So the Flying Finn really not making inroads on those 2 Red Bull drivers up ahead.
Reversal now flying down like a rocket ship, and Cupid is in the pits. I've just been told in my ear, that's close to Limitless again. Reversal is so daring on the brakes, and I think it's going to end in tears if he doesn't stop being so aggressive. But Burnout F1 going up the inside now, but AOR Reversal keeping it round the outside. Nicely done there. Limitless making another move now on Andre BCF 1997. Is up into P4 now on those soft compound tyres with a few people diving into the pits. Limitless has a bit of clean air now to work with, and Reversal again. Oh, there you go. Far too excited on the brakes, and that is what happens around this Baku City circuit. You cannot be that audacious on the brakes to just risk it every single time. A slight lock-up, and there you have it. He is in the middle of the track, and no further action between RS Falcon and Snowy, which is fair enough, I'd say. Snowy didn't lose too much from that particular incident, but he really did just get caught up in quite a few different ones. I don't think there'll be any further action either between Limitless and Snowy, because Limitless didn't really lose much apart from just being hit from behind, I believe. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out. Cupid is on the medium compound tyres now, has come out in 8th position with a bit of clean air, as we are now heading towards CRL Hamilton, as we've now got a slightly distracting thing coming up for the Flying Fin, which probably won't help. But he's up in P2.
Oh,
he's got a puncture. He's going very slowly. That must be a rear puncture. He's pushed his super softs too far. Yes, his right rear 100% wear, and that is going to be so painful for the Flying Fin's chances of winning this race and the championship as well. That is going to hurt him quite a bit, but fortunately for him, Ciario is not doing too well, and he's not exactly winning this race right now. Cupid is the one that is, well, technically, after everyone pits. But right now, he may well see the Flying Fin to the side and think, thank you very much indeed. But I think he was quite close to getting into the pits, so may not have lost as much time as if he had lost it maybe in the first sector. But wow, still, Flying Fin getting a bit of bad luck this time out.
Yep, and you definitely need a little bit of luck at least, and he has had a very good season so far, so one would argue that he might be due. So he does go into the pits. I missed what tire compound he went on to. Incident between Limitless and Snowadore. 5-second penalty applied to Snowadore as we see Falcon slamming into the back of Ciario.
Is this sprint
into
mode?
turn 1. Absolutely incredible. Just completely missing his braking point. And yeah, that is going to definitely be some front wing damage. And Ycoms as well gets a tap from Lucky Dog 2000 now into turn number 2. That is definitely going to cost them a significant amount of time. I'm not sure if Ycoms was letting Lucky Dog through.
He just turned him in. Yeah, he just turned into him, so I think he had to let him through there.
But Burnout running behind Andre BCF 1997, and also we're pointing out, I believe Leobot is now currently the de facto leader of this race. Again, once he comes into the pits, it is very likely that he will come out behind Cupid. However, at the moment, he is currently leading this race, and Cupid as well, making use of these fresh medium compound tires. He's going to get up past Burnout F1 and also going to grab another position off one of the cars into the pits as he finds his braking zone very nicely. Cupid not running into the back of anyone or running off the circuit into the runoff areas. So he is seeming fairly confident around this circuit as the new boy Raikkonen into the pits for a set of medium compound tires for him at the end of lap number 9. So he's got 17 laps to go on this set of medium compound tires. Not sure if that is doable on these mediums. I'm not sure if they'll go that kind of distance, but of course we will find out very shortly. And I'd like to say just a quick word about, there have been a lot of incidents, but we've also seen some incredible racing 3 wide down the start-finish straight at over 230 miles per hour and no incidents as well for those particular occasions. So some pretty incredible stuff. Azores Falcon now moving up the inside on Raikkonen again, who just came out on those brand new medium compound tires, and that looks like it's going to be P15 relatively easily for Falcon.
Indeed, with Raikkonen on the slightly slower medium tyres, but it will get him further into this race. I think the mediums will go to the end, if I am not mistaken, but it will be interesting to see how much tyre wear he is experiencing in the last few laps. We're now on board with Jason, who's in P7 at the moment on those medium compound tyres, following 6 Skills, I believe that is.
Yep.
With Mike Marshmallow behind on the soft compound tyres. This corner, out of all of them, I find the hardest, to be honest, purely because just spotting that braking point, if you just lock up ever so slightly, you're clipping that wall, and with the damage simulation on what it is around here on being full, you know, the slightest bit of touch, I think simulation, I think it's called on this game, but the slightest touch and you're losing your wheel. And Limitless, that is putting every tiny bit of time that you could possibly gain on the table and absolutely nailed that pit entry. It was great to see, actually, with Burnout coming into the pits as well. So Limitless is going to be going on to... Oh, no, that's Falcon out. That is Falcon completely out of this race, unfortunately for him. That corner is so hard. Like, honestly, even with a full front wing, just that little bit of tyre wear, that slight less bit of front end, and you just have to maybe... Oh, what's going on here?
Oh my gosh.
Getting caught up, and Ciario has just taken the Flying Fin, and Limitless has come out ahead of the pair of them. And wow, Limitless is actually ahead of the Flying Fin after that puncture, and Ciario is right behind him as well. And the Flying Fin trying to get through on Stu, and is just going to be about to do that with DRS and also the inside line, and we will actually have the racing line going into this left-hander. But Limitless finally up where he belongs in terms of racing the people we expect him to race, with Ciario and Flying Fin first and second in the championship behind him respectively. But let's see what Limitless can do from here. He's on the same tyres as the guys behind him. And, well, I mean, it's up to him what kind of result he's going to get from here. It's nothing to do with strategy. There's no more pit stops to make as far as I'm aware. and it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yep. And Sayaryu really is the one that needs to perform as much as he possibly can, because he is ahead of the Flying Finn at the moment, but he is also outside of the points-paying positions. So unfortunately, that's not going to do him any good. He really needs to be up at the front, again, with a 37-point gap in the championship standings at the moment. So if Sayaryu could get into the top 5, that would be fantastic for him. That would really take that gap down. It actually seems like he's even struggling to keep up with Limitless, to be honest, as Cupid now coming into the pits. Or I'm sorry, is this Leobot?
Yeah,
yes,
Leobot,
it is Leobot. Yep. So again, he was leading the race after everybody had come into the pits. So Leobot pits at the end of lap 12. So that's very interesting. He only has 14 laps to go. He is going to put on a set of the medium compound tires. And if he was able to do 12 laps on the softs that easily, then I have to imagine 14 laps on the mediums is going to be no problem for him, and he can really push to his heart's content. He is going to come out in 4th position. There is a car to his right-hand side. That is Mike Marshmallow in the Sauber, who does relegate Leobot down into 5th position. However, Leobot in the top 5, and with brand new medium compound tires as well, he could be on for a podium potentially. I hope I'm not commentator cursing him, though.
No, definitely. I think he's on for P2 at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, because I think the guys ahead still have to pit, but I may well be wrong. We'll find out in the next few laps, I'm sure, as Snowy goes in and gets a penalty, I believe this will be. Yep. Turns in too early for turn 1, and his race is going, oh no, he's going to hit him as well.
Oh no.
Snowy, come on, let's get our head together. I know he had some good pace. He's probably just really upset with the fact he had such a great qualifying in P5. Looking forward to the race, and then it was ruined within the first lap as Stu has just decided to go down and visit some of the shops, which I'm sure he'll be able to find if he jumps over the barrier. But Snowy's been promoted to P17, but I think Stu has actually retired because there now only 17 runners. So either way, Snowy not having a very good race. Now we're on board with Jason in P6. He's got Leobot ahead of him, so I think Jason's having a very good run as well here, because he's on the medium compound tyres and not far away from Leobot. So Jason, in fact, is still yet to pit, so he's not having a good a run as I was immediately thought. So Jason will be coming into the pits maybe at around lap, I don't know, 16 or so to go onto the soft compound tyres. Maybe earlier, actually, because he will have the benefit of that silly little glitch that we've got in this game. But Cyril Hamilton is behind him at the moment and may well get past, actually, because he will have DRS and the slipstream, which is very, very powerful. But we're not seeing him just yet. I'm not seeing an arrow anyway. So, no, I was just done a crofty there. And we're now on board with the Flying Finn and Sayaryu, the two championship protagonists, going together into turn 1, and the Flying Finn is going to hang around the outside. Sayaryu's going to have the inside line. They're now going to be side by side going down towards turn 2. Who is going to come out on top of this? Surely Sayaryu will have that inside line. He does indeed, but the Flying Finn will then get the DRS down this straight. Can he get a good exit? It looks like he really has, actually, as he's now in the slipstream, as we have someone in the pits of a Force India, I believe that is, and the Flying Finn now going to the racing line. Sayaryu has the inside line. Who's going to be brave on the race? It's Sayaryu, who locks his front left slightly, but stays ahead, and with this battling, Limitless is pulling away.
I mean, this league is incredible, Matt. We have the two championship contenders battling for P11. That's what's going on right now in Baku, which is truly incredible stuff. On board with Strees in P2 at the moment, the Red Bull driver, I believe is Cupid leading the race at the moment. I'm not entirely sure. But here comes the Flying Finn at 226 miles per hour, not able to get alongside Sayaryu. So clearly Sayaryu going at a similar sort of speed heading into turn 1. Burnout F1, meanwhile, actually ahead of his teammate on this occasion, currently up in P9. He will get the DRS, but he's got Limitless behind him on those medium compound tires. Also, I believe it was Andre who was still out on the, or Jason. Jason's still out on those medium compound tires. It said at the bottom right that for his next stop he was going to go on to the super soft rather than the soft, so he could possibly be a threat at the end of this race. Again, we can see Jason just up ahead in P7 as Burnout really struggling through the turn 5-6 section. That is going to lose him a position to Limitless, and he is going to lose out there. Oh gosh, Sayaryu going very, very deep. That is going to lose him a position. Oh gosh, are they going to be side by side into the castle section? No, they don't dare even think about that. So Sayaryu does lose the position to the Flying Finn, but again, that is for P11. No points awarded, of course, for P11, so it is pretty incredible to see this level of battling that we have going on, and there's a pretty sizable gap as well up ahead to P10, so of course, Jason still has to pit. There might be some other drivers that still have to pit in the top 10, but it's not looking too good for our two championship leaders at the moment.
It's not, but it's looking very good for Cupid, who could get himself back into this championship with a victory here with two of the guys, which I think they're still going to gain a few positions with some of the guys still to pit ahead. But Leobot in the slipstream and using the DRS as well here, but he's coming under pressure from Hamilton behind, going into turn 1. 6 skills is going to be fine in P4, but Hamilton goes up the inside and takes P5 away from Leobot, who does not fight too hard for that position. And it'll be very interesting to see how that unfolds as Jason goes onto the super soft tyres with 10 laps to go, which is the benefit again with that with the super softs becoming more durable if you start on the harder tyres. So Jason coming out in P15, so he's not very close to anyone at the moment. He's going to have to be rapid if he wants to catch up to the points paying positions ahead, but he's got 10 laps to do it, as Ycoms, who's in P16 with Snowy behind him, they're not having a particularly entertaining race at the moment. Oh my god, I could see as soon as he turned in, I was like, that's going to end in tears. And he's in neutral. You're not going to be able to turn it around in neutral. Where are you going, Ycoms? Like, you have to turn it around a bit more, mate. I don't know if this guy's ever done a 3-point turn in a real car before, but that's not quite how you do it. As he's going to get round eventually, I think. As we're on board with Andre now in P7 with Limitless right behind him. And he's falling away slightly from Leobot. But Limitless having a strong race at the moment. I think he is looking for a solid... Well, I don't know. I think all these guys have to potentially pit ahead apart from Leobot, but if Limitless at this rate continues to catch the guys ahead, he could be looking at a podium position here, and that'll be pretty good for him considering he started 19th.
Yeah, Limitless really could use that for sure. I mean, he's not even really a championship contender. After the Canadian Grand Prix, he's up into 5th with 35 points. So he's over 100 points adrift of the Flying Finn at the moment, but still plenty of races to go in this season, so he can always turn it around. He is catching at quite a rate of knots here on Andre, but I don't think he's going to be able to get by on this particular occasion. 6 skills and CRL Rosberg going CRL Hamilton going side by side up ahead into turn 2. It looks like Hamilton is going to come out ahead on this occasion. Leobot just hanging behind. He does not pick up the DRS, interestingly enough, but he did close in massively through turns 1 and 2, I assume because of them going side by side. Oh wow, that is as close as you can possibly get for Leobot. They're just locking it up into turn number 3, but managing to keep it out of the back end of that manner. And again, Leobot, I think, with the freshest tires out of everybody around him as well. So I imagine he's going to be trying to make the best use of that fresh rubber right now. 6 skills up ahead has not historically been one of the fastest drivers. Oh, and they're going to make contact, actually. 6 skills ends up in the barrier. They're still side by side into the castle section. I get nervous every time that happens, but no, it does look like they are going to go in single file, thankfully. Ycoms trying at turn 2 once again, does manage to make it through there for this particular occasion. Already on lap 17, well past the halfway point already. And Jason is the next car up the road, and again on those new super soft tires. And actually the car ahead of Jason was his teammate, so if he can get by his teammate pretty quickly, I can see them on the minimap actually just coming towards turn 15 right now. If he can get by his teammate relatively quickly, then he could start making inroads on this pack right here. This is who his target is, I would imagine, and he's still got about 9 laps to make those gains, but it's not going to be easy. And once he catches up to these guys, you know, catching people and passing them are two different things.
Indeed. Let's see if Flying Finn can... Oh my god, what an absolute dive bomb that was. He's taken out Limitless and Flying Finn. Where did that come from? Wow. I cannot believe I've just seen that. The Flying Finn has completely missed his braking point, and Limitless has lost part of his front left, part of his wing there. So I can only imagine that's going to be a penalty for the Flying Finn, and the championship leader has just done something that very uncharacteristic if we have a look at the last 7 rounds of this championship, as we now have a replay. I mean, this does not need to be investigated. That is a stonewall penalty, and Limitless cannot believe his luck, as he's just doing what he has to get to maybe a podium position, and then he's been taken out of absolutely nowhere. I bet he can't actually believe that. That's horrible to watch. After 18 laps of blood, sweat and tears, that has happened. So I'm sure the Flying Finn will have something to say, as the time penalty of Franglish will be removed for something or other. and maybe it's for... Okay, it was for... actually, it wasn't for extending at all. So he got an unfair penalty there, and we're now on board with Strees, who's currently... Oh, no! Where are you going, Strees? Turn back! Quick! Turn around! Right, so he hopefully is still in P2. I'm not sure what the gap was to the car behind, but there goes Jason ahead of AOR Raikkonen. So Jason gets himself into the points on those super soft tyres. Raikkonen on the mediums. I'm not sure he'll be able to do too much with the Ferrari of his teammates, in fact, on those super soft tyres. But what do you make of that incident, Justin?
What the
flying
the limitless?
fin? Yeah.
Wait, with the Raikkonen incident?
No, the flying fin.
Yeah. That's. I mean, surely that's got to be a penalty of some kind, especially because JD incurred damage as well. Maybe if he hadn't lost positions, if he hadn't had some sort of damage, but I mean, as you mentioned, a very, very uncharacteristic mistake, and I think that's kind of what we were hoping for heading into this race. Again, with it speaks, oh my gosh, and more battling. Hamilton, oh my gosh, that is not an overtaking location, but he has made it work. Kind of did the switchback maneuver through 5 and 6, got an almighty run out of turn 6, and just with the inside line at turn 7 moves up a position. But yeah, I have to imagine that's going to be some sort of penalty for the flying fin. Now, the only consolation that he can take in all of this is that Sayaryu really is not very far up the road. So even if he does score outside of the points, he's not going to be losing an incredible amount of time or anything like that. Oh, Strees coming into the pits for a second stop. That's interesting. On the soft compound tires, and at the end of lap 19, I believe that was. So is he doing a 6-lap stint at the end on the super softs? That seems very aggressive. He has dropped down into P3 now down into P4, coming into the pit lane exit, so he's going to lose at least a couple of positions as a result of that. But yeah, I think it was just a mistake on the flying fin's part. Obviously, he didn't mean to come flying into JD. He's not going to ruin his own race like that. But yeah, I think a penalty is pretty much inevitable.
Yep, I'm not sure what Raikkonen's doing right now.
It's a bad time to pause.
Yeah, definitely a bad time to unpause it, more like, because I think it would have been better for the AI to go through that left-hander. So unfortunately for Raikkonen, a very strange thing happening there. Mike Marshmallow and Lucky Dog are battling. It looks like Lucky Dog not really battling, actually. Lucky Dog just driving straight through and taking that position away. Burnout up in P4 at the moment. Why are we on board with him? What's going to happen here? But Burnout having a very good run for him, ahead of his teammate at the moment, as Burnout hasn't stopped yet for his second stop. So, oh no,
Burnout.
Shocking. Okay, so Burnout, what are you? Oh my! Oh, he's absolutely lost the plot. Has Burnout there, who has not scored any points this season yet, and he was in 4th place, and he's just, I hate to use the term, bottled it, but it seems that way. Sayaryu took that position away, but then Strees on those super soft tyres takes that position of 4th away from Sayaryu, who may well actually get back at him here with the slipstream towards the end of this straight. But it's going to have to be a pretty powerful one, but we all know how powerful the slipstream is in F1 2016. It's going to get DRS as well. Sayaryu surely is not going to have a go with the use of the medium tyres as well. No, he can't even get close, actually. He's quite slow down the straight line. And that is a 10-second time penalty for the championship leader for the collision between himself and Limitless. That will probably drop him a couple positions behind. We'll see. Depends where he finishes at the end of this race. Slow down. Just about did. So Burnout comes into the pits and he is out of the points. That's got to hurt.
Yep, yeah, that's got to be absolutely devastating for Burnout. As you mentioned, yet to score points so far this season, and it looks like today's race is going to be no different, unfortunately for him. On the bright side of things, though, I was talking about how Sayaryu needed to try and make up as many positions as he could. And there again is, I mean, yes, this time he did have the benefit of the Ferrari hitting the wall, but again, CRL Hamilton making another overtake in at a location that is definitely not normal for overtaking. Here we go with Strees in the Red Bull picking up the slipstream. Oh, wow. Diving up to the inside of turn 1 and just,
how did he slow that down?
That was absolutely lovely. The way, yeah, that was fantastic. Found his apex beautifully. Jason97 coming back at CRL Hamilton after losing that position on the previous lap is going to move himself back up into P8. And yeah, I was saying it earlier, Sayaryu not going to score so many points, and then he goes and and changes all of that. He's now up into P5. I'm not sure if he can make up any more positions than that, but he is going to pick up 10 points, which will put him less than 30 points away from the Flying Finn. Knock on wood that nothing bad happens to him over the course of the next 5 laps or so, but it looks like Burnout may have actually gotten a penalty on that pit lane entrance from earlier. No, he's just coming in for yet another stop. Oh, he's lost his entire front wing. Okay.
Yeah, so Burnout's race is a write-off now, unfortunately. So down in 16th, that's got to hurt. He's just going for fastest lap now, if anything, and that, unfortunately for him, does not count as any points either. So Burnout, unfortunately for him, is going to be on the Super Softs for no reason whatsoever. And we are now waiting. Here is Strees. We're on board with Strees now, behind Leobot. And surely Strees is going to get this position away from Leobot. So despite having a very aggressive strategy, does Strees, he's actually going to make it work by the looks of things, Justin. He pitted from second, and he's about to take second place away as we're now on board with HCR Cupid.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He's made a big mistake as Cupid, but he should be okay. Look at the gap he has. It's enormous. So he's just giving the fans a little bit of a cheeky bit of, oh, maybe Cupid will bottle it, but no, he's absolutely miles ahead. So Cupid just needs to regain his composure, keep it out of the wall, and he'll be absolutely fine. We're now on board with Streets once again, going to take second place away from Leobot, and he does it with ease on those super soft tyres. If he can spot his apex, which he does indeed,
wow.
It does get me every time with how close they get to that apex of that wall, and he gets away with it just fine. And Streets is back up into P2, and he's about to score his best ever result in the AOR League for this Season 12 Championship. And Jason is coming under pressure from CRL Hamilton now, and they're going to be side by side for P8, and Hamilton has to slot in. No, he doesn't. There's contact between the two, and I don't think, actually, Jason didn't lose any of his front wing, but there is a driver that just went past. I did not see who that was.
6 skills, I think it was.
Contact. 6 skills takes 2 positions away. Hamilton has more contact with Jason, and Jason is now finding himself outside of the points as Lucky Dog 2000 now has got involved with this battle, and Cyril Hamilton maybe just giving a bit of a nudge after that first little squeeze that Jason gave. But either way, Andre up in P4 at the moment. We are on lap 23 of 26, and Ciaru really needs as many points as he can possibly get with his championship rival not scoring many points this afternoon.
Yeah, and I said it was going to be difficult for him to get any higher than 5th, but actually he has gone and proved me wrong, as many of these drivers do in these races, if I'm being honest. But he's got a good run out of turn 16, most important corner on the entire circuit, because of course you carry that speed out of that corner all the way through 17, 18, 19, 20, and into turn 1. I do believe Zario is going to be too far back to do anything into turn 1, approaching 225 miles per hour. Just make sure you don't run into the back of him. He does have a little look, and Andre actually does give him the room at the inside of the corner. He leaves the gap at the inside, and Zario with a bit of a lunge, a little bit of a late braking maneuver into turn 2, and with the benefit of the DRS now, will begin to pull away from Andre. There is a third car involved in this battle as well. I'm not sure who that is, but it looks like their side-by-side battling has brought another car into this as well. So if Sayaryu can finish in this position, he's on lap 24 now, less than 3 laps remaining for the Renault driver, and every point he can pick up here is just going to make that much difference in the championship battle between himself and the Flying Finn. Meanwhile, the 2 Red Bull, oh gosh, that is a very late pit stop for Ycoms. He's got his front wing. I'm not sure why he's coming into the pits, but I guess it doesn't really matter since he's 15th position with just a few laps remaining as well, so it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. And it is actually Limitless that has gotten involved in this battle between Andre and Sayaryu, but actually, ever since getting by Andre, Sayaryu has started to break away. Look at that gap, which means also Andre is going to be vulnerable. He's not going to pick up the DRS here off of Sayaryu, which means Limitless might just fly by. In fact, he's not even going to wait for the DRS or anything. He's just going to take that position down into turn 16, down the hill, inside line for the Haas driver, and Limitless finds himself in P5. Now. Oh yeah, not a good exit. He's going to be in big trouble. Yeah, he just hit that curb, and that's going to maybe cost him not 1 but 2 positions. Look how quick the Flying Finn is coming down this straight. Give him some space, Andre, come on. There you go, and this could be curtains for Limitless. Oh, please spot your breaking point, Flying Finn, as we come now flying down towards turn 1. Limitless is still pretty quick in a straight line, in fact, but the Flying Finn is not going to get a position on Limitless, who I thought maybe after that exit that the Haas driver had then,
that maybe he'd be in trouble, but fortunately he was quick enough in a straight line and has a skinny enough front and rear wing in order to push his Haas down that straight. But Limitless up to P5 now, Flying Finn P6, but with that penalty he is going to lose that position once again. We're now on the final lap and HCR Cupid is just cruising his way to a dominant victory, it has to be said, Justin.
Yeah, and a Red Bull 1-2 as well. What did these guys eat this morning? I mean, it's incredible. The performance that these guys have put in, 11 seconds to his teammate, and his teammate as well. Stree's very comfortable, you have to say. Limitless, though, has not given up. Final lap of this race in the slipstream of Seario as they come down towards turn 15. Can they get it all slowed down? Just about. And just nose to tail, just inhaling those fumes off of that Renault up ahead. Stree's, or Cupid, excuse me, understandably very excited about picking up that win. And again, with his teammate right behind him, it does look like Leobot is going to pick up the final podium position. A fantastic drive for the Toro Rosso driver. Seario has the advantage on the run down towards the start-finish line. It's going to be very close between himself and Limitless. Limitless gets the DRS. He's getting the slipstream as well, 220 miles an hour as they come across the line. Is he going to hold onto it? Yes, he does. Seario stays ahead of Limitless, but only just. Jason 97 F1 just manages to barely keep it out of the wall through turn 19 there. But he's gonna come home outside of the points, as is Mike Marshmallow as well, which is unfortunate because the Sauber driver started in 4th position. So, yeah, that was a pretty crazy race, I have to say. And the Flying Finn has been grounded, you could say.
Yep, definitely. There's been a few chinks in the armour that has been shown to his competitors, and the Flying Finn making a very uncharacteristic mistake with that instant with Limitless. It'll be very interesting to see where he finishes in the end, as Burnout F1 is going to come over the line very shortly to finish this race off. And it's a pretty crazy race. Yeah, what could have been? Burnout obviously probably reflecting on where he was in this race and where he could have finished, but unfortunately what's and ifs are not what gets you points in this league. It is keeping your nerve and keeping your bottle, and unfortunately Burnout will learn a lot hopefully from today, and maybe next time he's in that position he'll be able to thrive. And there you go, HCR Cupid wins the race and Flying Finn gets demoted to 8th position in the end. So Seario makes a few dents into that lead of the Flying Finn. So HCR Cupid wins the race ahead of Strees, a Red Bull 1-2, which is the first time we've seen this season, with Leobot in 3rd position. A great result for him. So literally, Red Bull and Toro Rosso just dominating that podium, with Seario in 4th position. Limitless, again, what could have been for him in 5th, with Andre BCF, a very good result for him in 6th position. So Toro Rosso and Red Bull getting a big haul of points in this race. 6 Kills, also a worthy mention, in 7th position. Flying Finn was just mentioned in 8th, Franglish 9th, and Mike Marshmallow in 10th position. Considering he was up in P3 at one point, I'm sure he'll be quite disappointed with that. And if we have a look at the second page of results, Snowy did actually finish that race in the end in 17th, but these guys unfortunately did not score any points, and Martin did not finish the race either. So Martin's head had completely gone when, I'm not even sure when he retired. But either way, the excitement never stops in this league by the looks of things, Justin, and I'm sure we've still got more and more of it to come. Yeah,
Baku did not disappoint, thankfully. I mean, I know some people may have been a little skeptical of Azerbaijan at the beginning of this race, but no, it really delivered. HCR Cupid moving up in the world, up into 3rd ahead of TRL Martin in the standings, and meanwhile Seario closing that gap down, was 37, now just 29 points between the two of them. So if he can have that kind of result ahead of the Flying Finn for a few more races, he will find himself very close to that driver. But I mean, I don't think Seario can count on those kinds of mistakes from the Flying Finn. I mean, I hate to say it, but Seario got kind of lucky today. It wasn't as good a performance as we've seen from him in previous races, so he's going to have to step it up, and also he's going to have to hope for a little bit more bad luck for the current championship leader.
Oh, definitely. I think he really did need to take more advantage of this, but he still does move a little bit closer. 29 points behind the Flying Finn is Seario, and if you look at the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull flying up there, up to P3 now, only 1 point behind Renault, after Williams and Renault both having disappointing races this time out, which means Red Bull are only 40 points away from the top of the standings. Mercedes dropping to 4th, Sauber dropping to 6th, with Toro Rosso with that great result up into P7 in the Constructors' Championship. Manor, unfortunately, all the way down in last. So what are we waiting for? We've got round 9 next week for the Season 12 Austrian Grand Prix. It'll be an interesting one, a very short circuit. I can imagine that the qualifying is going to be so close, Justin.
Yeah, with only 9 corners on the circuit, and a lot of them pretty high speed as well. It's going to be very close in qualifying, as you said, but also some good overtaking locations into turn 1, into turn 2, into turn 3 even as well. That whole first sector pretty much all overtaking opportunities for the driver, so I'm expecting an exciting race. We haven't been let down at all this season so far. I expect Austria to be no different.
Same. I can't wait. Let's go next week, Austrian Grand Prix. Thank you very much, guys, for watching both myself, xMattyG, and Justin in the commentary box. It's been a good one. I'm sure next week will be just as good for the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll see you then. Goodbye.